Hi everyone, my name's Chris. I work for Challenges Abroad. I know I've met many of you already, but for those who are either in Jenna's group or I haven't had the pleasure of meeting so far, hi. I'm here today to talk about Christmas, hence the Christmas tree behind me, and about how you can make the most of your time over the holidays to fundraise towards your January target. I'm aware that many of you may not have had much time to do fundraising thus far this term, and therefore the Christmas period will be your best time to ensure you're on track come mid-January. So I'm going to talk a bit about why raising at Christmas is good. I'll also give you some fundraising ideas and talk a lot about how you can utilise existing connections to make the most of the holidays. So firstly, why is raising at Christmas going to be better than perhaps in term time, or at least different? Well, firstly, you're hopefully going to go back to what we call an unsaturated market. You're going from a place where there are other students raising at the same time. There may be another university in your town who also have got a big rag and they're doing lots of collecting, to your hometown where it's probably likely to be smaller than the big cities you may be at university at, but also it will have more people that you know and you'll be familiar with what's going on around you and there won't be loads of other people collecting. You'll have the local knowledge. It's likely that you know your hometown better than your university town, so you'll know kind of what events already exist and the people who you can speak to. And you'll have a bit more free time probably. Now, although you may have essay deadlines or exams in January, you won't have lectures and seminars or things with more specific timings, which allows you to structure your time and work and be organised with your time to ensure that fundraising does get done without having to be at a certain place at a certain time. And finally, Christmas spirit. It is the season that everyone is jolly and therefore giving, so do utilise the fact that people will be in a more generous sort of mood. Now, I'm going to talk predominantly about the actual ideas for events and similar things such as that, but do not forget your online stuff. You should all have your Just Giving pages by now. Do keep plugging those on social media and by email. Statistics have shown that about 30% of all online giving is done in November and December each year, particularly December in the UK. So do kind of keep posting about that, but do keep it original. Don't just say, please donate, please donate. Give people reasons. Use facts and figures that you can get from us or from our websites, either our Challenge Abroad or Future Centre Foundation. Use existing pictures, which are quite readily available. Any videos, if you've got a video of you doing some collections already, utilise that. So people have got a reason to give. If you're quite technologically savvy, you can set up a text donations, which again a lot of people do and to quite good effect. So I'm going to move on now and talk about some fundraising ideas that we've seen people do over Christmas holidays before and that have worked very well. Not all of these are going to be specifically relevant to you. They might not be applied to the place you're going to be, but they're ideas that you can use or may inspire you with other similar ideas that you can perhaps do where you're coming from. So firstly, many pubs will have a Christmas-based quiz. So you can perhaps take advantage of that. Either get involved with one that already exists or look to set one up yourself. Speak to your local landlord, and if the money can go towards your fundraising target, fantastic. Carol singing. This can be great, either individually, but even better as a group. Definitely utilise any siblings you have, particularly younger siblings around Christmas time, and if you can do it in fancy dress or costume, even better. You'll raise a good amount, and it'll be a nice thing to do in your local community. Christmas fair. Now, organising one at this short notice is very unlikely to do, but I went to one back in a tiny village near where I live and it was absolutely packed. The whole high street was crammed. There must have had hundreds and hundreds of people there. Now at that fair there was a stall run by the local scout group who all they were doing was selling tea, coffee and bacon sandwiches, and they were making absolutely loads. So although you couldn't organise a whole fair for yourself, you could very easily organise a stall to be at these fairs. So do find out there's one going on in your local area that you can get involved in. One of my personal favourites is Santa races. You may have seen these, they spring up, they're becoming quite popular across the country. The name kind of says it all. You dress up as Santa and race. So get as many people involved as possible who pay a small donation to kind of take part. It's a really fun idea that will bring all the community together. Do check there isn't one that already exists though, because a lot of towns are starting to put these on now, so you may be a little bit too late to get involved for the Future Centre Foundation towards your target. But it's something to look into. Now the next one is something that everyone I particularly would welcome such a service, a present wrapping service. If you're particularly good at wrapping, you can get in contact with family, friends via email, etc. and see if you can do wrapping for them. Or an even better idea is get in contact with the manager of your local shopping centre and seeing if you have a pop-up stall outside the shops where people can pop to you and you'll do their wrapping for them for a small charge. You can actually make quite a lot in the build-up to Christmas by last-minute shoppers. The next two ideas kind of link together around the ideas of partying over Christmas. The first one being babysitting. You may have younger siblings or young relatives, or have family friends who have young children who want to go out and either have a meal or go to a party over the Christmas period without their child, and therefore offer to babysit. People are in quite a generous mood. They'll probably give you more over the Christmas holidays, and you can actually make some money towards your target by watching television and occasionally looking after the child. The other one is a taxi service. A lot of people go out and go to parties, want to have a few drinks. Offer to pick them up, see if you can kind of get involved in picking up kind of friends, family, relatives, etc. And see kind of, obviously, do drive carefully and do kind of make sure you have a driving licence and things like that. But if you're able to kind of pick up people and kind of, they'll obviously be quite generous towards your charity and everything will be fantastic. New Year's party. Now, this is a party over Christmas in general, but New Year's in particular. I often go out and I'm very disappointed. It's not a great kind of night out. It's always overly priced, and everyone kind of comes home a bit kind of disappointed by the whole evening. Create your own party. Get a local venue, probably not your house, but maybe a local village hall or school, something like that. Kind of get a playlist together, or a friend who does a bit of DJing. Put on some nibbles, see the new year with your friends. You might not make a ton, but you'll have a really nice night out, and it all does add up towards your target. Now, not all these ideas will be relevant for all of you, so at this stage I usually invite everyone to kind of contribute with ideas that they think they can do. As I'm doing this as a recording, do maybe make a note of any of those ideas that you think will be particularly relevant for your area, or things that you can perhaps do. So do think about that. Now, the next thing is taking advantage of who and what you know. As I said, you're going to go back to an area where you do know people, you do know the local area. So firstly, think about places of work. This could be somewhere that you work, either part-time or the place that you used to work before you went to university. It could be where your family work, your family friends, any relatives, any friends back at home, and see how you can get involved with that place of work to help you towards your fundraising target. It could be something very simple, just a collection tin on a bar or a canteen, or a sponsorship form on the office notice board, or it could be something a bit more imaginative. It could be a dress down Friday in a corporate environment, or a Christmas jumper Friday. It could be a cake sale. Anything like that. Do think about the place that everyone you know works and how you can perhaps get involved. Next, this links quite nicely into the idea of local businesses. There may well be a butcher that you've been going to for all of your life and your family knows well, or a baker, or the local pub, or the greengrocer, wherever you happen to shop. See if they will be willing to either put a collection tin there for you, donate something towards a Christmas raffle, or you can actually get sponsorship. You may well already have a t-shirt that looks exactly the same as this, or you'll be getting one in the new year. You can actually get iron-on sponsors, and we've had people who do this every year. You can get them to iron on logos in return for sponsorship money. We've had people who've raised hundreds of pounds doing this. So do speak to local businesses, see if they'll be willing to sponsor you. If you come back in the new year, look like a Formula 1 driver, we'll be extremely happy, and you'll be well towards your fundraising target. On the idea of sponsorship, again, it's a great time for asking family and friends. A lot of people you might not like asking, but it is kind of a big part of fundraising. If you don't ask for things, you're not going to get them. So speak to kind of those relatives you only see once a year around Christmas. Do speak to the family friends that you kind of are meeting up with once a year to exchange Christmas presents and that sort of thing. Tell everyone that you know back at home, all your friends that you met before you went to university, and their families. Tell them about what you're doing and see if they can sponsor you in any way. Either going on a Just Giving page, or if, like my grandparents who don't have a computer, they haven't got the internet, then they can do it through a traditional sponsorship form. Whatever works, do kind of see if you can kind of get people to sponsor you. On the subject of sponsorship, and this is particularly, this is for all year round, but particularly perhaps for your flatmates at university. As we know, students haven't got the same money as kind of adults in the real world. So give them perhaps a bit more of an incentive to donate towards your cause. A lot of people will give you money because of what you're doing, because they know you, or because they like the cause. But some people will want something that kind of they're getting back from it. I knew someone who was doing a half marathon, and they said for everyone who donates over a £5, you can pick a playlist song to stick on the playlist and make it as kind of humiliating and difficult as possible. It could be if you're doing some sort of very visible event that the top 3 donors can pick an item of fancy dress that you wear while doing it. So do think about what you can give back to potential donors and something that they will kind of get a bit of a laugh. Don't be afraid to make a bit of a fool of yourself. It's all kind of all for charity, and it's all a bit of fun, and people will probably be more generous as a result. And a big one that we know what does work really well, and if you can pull off is absolutely fantastic, is getting in contact with your old school. Now, the ideal is that they'll do a non-uniform day for you, or a charity day, where everyone pays £1, and if you had a school of 1,000+ people, that's going to be half your fundraising target in that one day. They may ask in return that you do like a 20-minute assembly on the trip and why going into higher education is a good thing, because then they'll have more people applying to university and the school's league table position will rise and you'll have made quite a large amount of money, so it's definitely worth it. If you're unable to do that, because a lot of people do pick their non-uniform beneficiaries at the start of the year, so you can do other events, whether they're it could be a cake sale, it could be a sports tournament, all sorts of things to involve schools. Don't just limit it to your school. Do think about your primary school as well. Think about anywhere that any siblings or relatives go. If you have any family who work in schools, think about schools in your local area in general and how that they can be supportive. So again, with the idea of the fundraising ideas, do perhaps take a moment now just to maybe jot down a couple of ideas that you think would work particularly well and particular contacts that you have the advantage of knowing back in your local area that you can contact over the Christmas holidays. The final area is something that is a general theme for the whole year and something that we definitely want to kind of encourage. We want you to enjoy your fundraising and to utilise the skills that you already have and things that you enjoy to kind of make your money. So, although these are Christmas-based ideas, they are adaptable throughout the year. So, if you're an artistic person, for example, you could do making Christmas cards, or do fancy dress design, or Christmas wreaths that people stick on their door. Things like that. Things that are kind of use your artistic skills to help you kind of make money. If you are perhaps a musical person, I mentioned already carol singing, but organising a Christmas concert with a band that you used to play with, or kind of a family member's band for that matter, or a choral society. It's quite easy to obtain busking licences from most local councils. Go and see if you can get one of those and go and perform some Christmas carols with your keyboard or guitar or whatever instrument you perhaps play. Perhaps you're really good at baking. Around Christmas time, people eat a lot of cake. I know that I do. So things like Christmas cakes, mince pies, Yule logs, gingerbread men, all that sort of thing are great things to take advantage of. Or you can organise like dinner parties, a way of catching up with all the friends that you haven't seen for a term or so. Invite them all round, say you'll cook for everyone for a donation. Obviously make sure it does cover your costs and makes a bit of a profit. It's always towards your charity. It's a great way to catch it up with everyone so you're doing fundraising while having a great time. Now these are kind of just some of the hundreds and hundreds of ideas that you may want to do. If you have any kind of questions about any of them, please do get in contact with us. We're happy to answer any questions you have. Do utilise your Facebook groups, the closed ones that you have access to. Use those over the holidays. Get in contact with other people who may, from your trip, who may live in a similar sort of area, or just compare ideas with each other. That's kind of everything I have for you. I do want to wish, on behalf of myself and Challengers Board and the Future Steps Foundation, all of you out there a very Merry Christmas, and I look forward to hearing all of your fundraising ideas in the new year. Thanks a lot. Bye.